Welcome back to WIS News Primetime. Last week we introduced you to a very special Richland County Department member team, really a member of the team. We think of dogs and law enforcement. We usually picture kind of more intimidating canines, right, who are out on assignment, enforcing the law with their handlers, searching for suspects. But RCSD's newest addition, CJ, has a very important responsibility, offering comfort and opening up a very important dialogue. We are delighted to have with us live in the studio tonight the RCSD Director of Wellness and Resiliency, Allison Farrell, and our crisis intervention canine, CJ. Hey, CJ, how are you? Allison, thank you for coming in.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
And thank you for what you do. You know, we were talking during the break, and we want to tell everybody about CJ in just a moment, but I want to talk about what your job is with the agency, because it is so important. And we talk about, we've been working on this show and other shows here at WIS to normalize the conversation about mental health. And that has been such a priority, I know, for the Richland County Sheriff's Department through CJ's mission, which we'll talk about in a moment, but through other training and initiatives as well.
Yeah, so Sheriff Lott brought me in, it was about a year ago, actually, and he had this vision for a very robust mental health program, one where we are neutralizing stigma and having conversations that are hard to have. They're hard to have in the real world. They're also especially hard to have in the law enforcement world.
Yeah.
And so I spend a lot of time teaching to these deputies. I'm a licensed mental health clinician, so I provide therapy to our deputies when it's appropriate, or make sure that they're referred out to the right agencies. And then obviously making sure that we're promoting mental health in our community. Sheriff Lott has a great belief that healthy communities need healthy cops. And so that's what we're doing. That's our goal.
And you know, in a profession where there are so many demands on a given day. I mean, day in, day out. You know, on the outside looking in, it might seem like, gosh, it's hard to prioritize that because, you know, you got to be on duty. You've got to respond whenever the situation calls. But if you're intentional about it, there are ways to make that a part of the standard protocol, standard operating procedure.
Yeah, I think it has to be something that's accepted from the top down and the bottom up. It's something that I think when leaders buy in, then you get more buy-in and more understanding from folks that are new to the agency. So we're really excited, and it's been a good adventure here this last year, and we'll continue on.
It's such an important mission. Let's talk about CJ.
Let's talk about CJ.
CJ, we need to get your close up too. CJ has got such a sweet spirit.
Yes.
And you said that's really part of CJ's mission, to be calm even in the most stressful circumstances.
That's right. So he's a crisis intervention dog. Our partner, PALS, Palmetto Animal Assisted Life Services, they bred him and raised him and trained him and spent 2 years loving on him and making sure that he's ready when emotions are heightened or there's chaos, or maybe we have a critical incident, that he can go into those situations and remain calm and help bring things down in the room that he's in.
And what impact does CJ have in terms of interacting with your deputies? Because CJ's with you wherever you go.
He's with me wherever I go. And I have an open door policy, obviously, so our deputies can come in, our civilian staff can come in anytime if they need some love or just a conversation. So he does that, and then obviously when I'm providing sessions, then he sits in there with us for that. He knows some pressure points, some cues that he's been specifically trained in that will help bring blood pressure down, will help with high heart rates, anything that someone may have that exhibits stress. He's been trained to
Well, we're looking at CJ give a hug right there.
Yeah.
That was in the first story that we did. CJ knows how to give hugs. But that's what I really wanted to drive home in having CJ live in the studio, was because this is not just, oh, we get to pet and rub on CJ. I mean, there is a very specific, a physical and a tactical response, really, in terms of the mission that CJ performs.
Absolutely. So he's trained in 70 different cues, and I did not train him. Pals did a wonderful job of training him.
Pals did such a great job.
And preparing him for his work with us. And so, yeah, he comes in, he can kind of work a room if he needs to, and he'll give you hugs and lay on your feet and provide this pressure point treatment that is so rare that we get. So
wow, what a great job you have.
I do. I love my job. I love my job.
And CJ goes home with you and gets to just be a regular dog at night, right?
He comes home and the cape comes off and the collar comes off, and he's a dog.
Wow. Good. Thank you so much for all that you do for our community. CJ, thank you for your service. What a sweetheart you are.
He'll come back and visit anytime.
Listen, brought my pressure points down tonight for sure, and didn't even know I needed it. But and we also have to thank PALS for the great work that they do in
Amazing
our community.
work.
Yeah, absolutely, making a real difference in ways that really matter.
Yes.
All right, Allison, thank you
Thanks, Judy.
to you and the entire department.
All right.
All righty.
Thank you.
Stay with us. More prime time after this.